Hey everyone, so today I want to talk about something I found out in this book. It's called So Good They Can't Ignore You: Why Skills Trump Passion in the Quest for Work You Love by Cal Newport. Now this is a topic that everyone should be very interested in because finding out what your area of skill is and really determining that is very, very important because one, you'll be very, very happy doing something that you enjoy and getting better at it and getting paid for it. Now, it's the quest for that holy grail is more complicated than you think. So that's why you need to read books like this. And two, if you don't choose the right thing, you can end up not spending all those years that you could have spent honing your skill to expertise and ultimately not becoming an expert at that field, and then not making money from it, not being able to put it into your lifestyle as more than a hobby. So generally this book's very important, and again, sometimes what you'll find is that your interests are not something as glamorous as you think. You might think it's very interesting because a lot of people, they think it's something very glamorous and off the wall and far off, like supermodel or actress, when in reality it could be something like the knitting that you do every day in your free time, and you can translate that into either a business or a YouTube channel or online brand or community of some sort. I mean, look at Sarah Blakely. She's now a billionaire, and it wasn't easy for her to get there, but it took her over a decade, and she chose something she loved, which was clothing. She decided to make her own type of, I believe it was yoga pants, and now she's a billionaire. After a lot of years plugging away, selling it, creating this company and growing it is ridiculous. However, as you can imagine, it's much more difficult and complicated than you think. So that's why you should pick up books like this. So this one is actually very well known and it's up to date. So there's stuff in here that's very, very recent. And it draws from very recent examples. Oftentimes you get books like this on topics like this, and it'll be something off the wall in the 1950s, and it's like completely different now. Like this, you want books that incorporate modern times into them because times are changing rapidly. And anyhow, what I wanted to talk about in this book was one specific subject, and it was a few chapters of this book, in the middle of this book. And basically, it argues based off examples, real life case studies, how passion in itself and just jumping after your passion is not the right route. Skills trump that, and developing a skill in something trumps that. And this is why it gets more complicated than you think. Because some people think it's so simple. You just listen to a few phrases and you go after it. Follow your passion and you're good to go. No, it's not true, because one case study in this book gives the example of a female who spent a great deal of time creating a skill set and practicing and honing that in a corporate environment, and then all of a sudden jumping away from that subject completely and pursuing a passion completely outside of that, which happened to be teaching yoga to children and starting a company on that. The problem with that, at least that's what Cal Newport argues, is that she had very little expertise in yoga, and now she was competing against all these people with tens of thousands of hours of training in yoga. And so all she did was she took like a 200-hour training class, which isn't, I mean, it's nothing to laugh at or sneeze at, but the book argues that now you're competing against all these people with exceptionally high expertise and skill and experience, and now she's forsaken the skill set that she's spent all this time with, And in my opinion, my interpretation is that one key thing that you have to highlight is the fact that our time on this earth is limited. If we were all immortal, it would be a completely different story. Like you could you can do anything because you know you would have time in the future to hone your skill. Unfortunately, we only have so much time in our lives to hone that skill. Now, the topic of if you need 10,000 hours is a whole nother topic for another video, but I don't think it's true. I think people misinterpret that, and even the person who popularized that term, Seth Godin, he has some stuff to say on that when he was asked on Reddit. But anyhow, this video is simply to talk about this whole passion versus skills things. Now, sometimes you'll be lucky enough for them to correlate, where what you've been honing is related, at least somewhat, to what your passion is. Unfortunately, this female, she did this. It went decently well. She started a company. She was making close to minimum wage doing this, and then eventually the recession hit in 2009, and everything fell apart, and she was living off food stamps. And it was rather unfortunate. And basically, it's saying that, like, sure, like, you can follow your passion if you want, but you have to take into account skill set, and sometimes skill set trumps passion. And my interpretation is that you have to make sure, if you want to pursue your passion, you have to realize that the world is a very, very competitive place, and sometimes it's a winner takes all, sometimes it's a everyone can survive and win and thrive economy, depending on what topic you're working towards, what subject you're passionate about. And because it's so competitive, especially if it's something off the wall like video games, everyone wants to make a living playing video games, it's going to be exceptionally competitive. People going off the wall crazy, doing exceptional work to achieve that. Like, I see it to a huge extent, to a almost horrendous extent, in the online professional gaming industry, specifically League of Legends. So you have to make sure that if you're doing something you're passionate about, that you can somehow compete, whether it's skill set, amount of time and experience, and practice that you put in or that you can put in. Do you think that you can beat these people if you're just coming in to teach yoga and you've got people with exceptional practice regimen, experience 10,000 hours of training? Apparently yoga is very deep. There's all sorts of skill sets and poses and teachings and stuff that you have to learn. And I think that's one side of the equation. Also, there's a bunch of other stuff, like if you're starting a company, there's innovation, there's finding a very creative idea, creating some sort of competitive advantage so people can't just steal your idea, growing that competitive advantage. There's so many aspects to it. Not just, hey, I just need to accumulate enough years of skill and experience and no one else can compete with me because they'll be coming in with zero experience. That's true to a certain extent, but I mean, there's so many other factors out there. And even then, with experience and skills, what you'll find, let me just put this away, what you'll find is that just putting in the hours is not enough, because you will see people surpassing you putting in less hours for various reasons. And that was actually also talked about in this book. There's a difference because of, one, possible natural talent that beats yours. So like every hour you put in, they put in half an hour and get to that level. Two, and again, it doesn't always work like that. It's not so linear. Sometimes it's exponential, sometimes it plateaus. Two is the fact that, as very well explained in this book, there are very different ways of practicing. Now that's a topic for a completely different video, and it also, breaks down this 10,000 hour stereotype where you need exactly 10,000 hours to become an expert at a skill and then become rich off that skill. And again, it's not completely horrible. It's a good general rule. But again, I mean, so far this book has been quite insightful in providing me a new perspective on this, and just drawing off my own experience and knowledge, and using this book as well. I think it's very useful. And again, I can't. It's a whole nother video about experience and skill. But long story short, how you practice can make a huge difference as well, not just how much experience you put in. So that's all I really want to say in a nutshell. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you found it helpful, informative, leave it a like and hit the subscribe button down below. And most importantly, if you do nothing else, share this video with someone you think can be helped by it, or find this entertaining, that would enjoy something like this. And I will see you in the next video. And of course, again, as mentioned, I have so much more to talk about in this book and on this topic, so stay tuned. Check out my other videos on my channel. I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching.